Okay, so yeah, this is a very interesting, gonna be a very interesting theory video. I wouldn't say fully a theory video, just a more reveal and more interesting terms of just updates on what's going on and what leads and what's been revealed with this series. But yeah, turns out I was more right than I thought I was with this series so far. But of course, there's no denying that this series have just revealed multiple things that have been well, haven't been revealed yet. And the big thing that shows this is the that the fact that my last video, my reaction video, kind of shows, which I'll send a link down in the description down below if you guys want to check that out. I highly recommend it. It's also kind of funny. But yeah, there's a lot to go over here. So let's start off with the big thing that happened this week during this weekend. So pretty much, if you guys have been paying attention to Grant, you may recall that he was talking about the word Tress. Turns out, as we'll go through, do a breakdown with each of this minutes of the video, it turns out Tress is actually possibly his last name. I don't know if Grant's real last name is Trant, but in the story, it is Trant, and there is a major reason for this, and here's that reason. Yeah, and by the way, that photograph did appear before in one of Naomi's own Instagram posts. To make a long story short, this girl was the girl who was the white dress girl we saw back during GPReed's, and the girl who was by the fire, the house that was on fire, also earlier in GPReed's videos. And this is actually big because this shows what could have happened. But the biggest reveal is Naomi is possibly Grant's sister. Now, I could be wrong on that, but there is one big thing that is interesting to note. That pretty much Naomi could be also a project that Grant accidentally made. And here's proof, all the proof of that.
Well, thank you for speaking with me today. Appreciate it. Even though we have our differences, I appreciate you setting it aside. Thanks again. Yeah. Would you mind if I speak to Curtis now? Just for a moment? Is he there? Yeah. Hey, Phoenix, what's up, man? Yeah. So, you find anything else out about that Naomi thing? Do you think it is? Alright. Yep. Yeah, we'll go ahead and talk about it on the show. Yeah.
Now, that may not seem too much proof, but it is aware that GPReed is up to something. If you see my reaction video, I read out a lot of that thing, which was talking about experimenting on a person with something called the D-type, which has been talked about before. Now, this next clip is the most very interesting one that got my mouth drop, because it reveals a whole lot more than just something. And P.S. yes, I noticed that Friendly Phoenix is in fact working with GPReed. He also confirmed this down below of my reaction video. But here's the clip that really shows much more than meets the eye.
Need more solid test results. Run the process again.
I built everything up to code for a test for weeks. There would be no extra variables.
Are you kidding me? You're giving up that easily? Perhaps she was the best choice after all, and not you.
You know that's a lie. Just trust me. No, it's too risky.
Yeah, it turns out the major tall red bird was also turns out not to be trusted at all, as the bird is actually somewhat seemingly working against GPReed or something, or his boss. But it does explain the birds and the skull symbolism, because those two could be his bosses, which explains why he's been, stressed out over skulls. If you guys recall, the skull people from his one video I did, I forgot what video it was called, but when those two guys were during the dress woman one, turns out that could be just either not only for something of death, which I thought it was, but it could also mean of his boss who's haunting him for this stuff. Now, as for what the hell this project is, well, actually, there could be a solution to this matter. Now, I, once again, did not want to drag this into this mess, but according to GPReed himself, he did confirm that the Dad series had some symbolism into his videos. I will admit that I have watched, some stuff of Dad before I drop off. And I had to look back into his work to see what's the connection to GPReed's, because I knew something was fishy when Hootie was actually the owl, as I'm calling him, Hootie, was playing too much of that, that whatever, the imposter game. However, he did state that there are some symbolisms from Dad that could be exploited. Now, for those who haven't caught up to Dad, or, like me, don't really care, the Dad series is actually more focused on being a project of the main antagonist wanting to bring her daughter back from the dead. This could be a symbolism of the fact that GPReed wants to save his sister. That could be it. Now, again, I don't know. But there is one other symbolism that caught my eye. The smiley face mug. Now, if you guys recall, many times already through these theory videos, I recently started making about a woman known as Stephanie, who is pretty much heavily known for, being another kind of ARG crazy, weird, cult-like thing. And one of her major symbols in that, other than red goofy hearts, is emojis. Specifically the smile emoji that could be the symbol of the whole entire cult-like thing. The question is this mug really a connection? Probably not, because, interesting enough, there have been heavy confirms that it may not be a connection. But all in all, those two symbolisms are very interesting nonetheless. Because I don't think those symbolism had appeared before until I started doing these theory videos. So I don't know. I mean, it's just a coincidence probably. Like, that's my best guess. I mean, heck, my birthday was the day the girl got kidnapped, and I definitely know that's a coincidence because obviously I don't think GPReed actually knew my birthday was September 24th. So, however, it does get very interesting with those two symbolisms, which kind of does show that, GPReed is trying to accomplish something. Let's go back to my moon theory, where he needs to use the power of alchemic medicine to save his sister. And I hate to put this on him, but I'm now starting to think he's possibly the one who did the brain surgery on this Naomi. And who knows, I mean, That's pretty much a big thing. However, that's not all that I recently discovered, and this is where the real meat of this video comes into play. So, apparently, as you guys already know, I mentioned this guy multiple times because he mentioned GPReed multiple times, and, you know, they're kind of, like, connected. Turns out he's more connected to this than I thought because Dark Mikey, or Darkness Mikey, his OC, has pretty much have a heavy reveal into this. And it all was revealed during a special where Dark Mikey appeared. And here is that major thing I discovered.
I knew this was a bad idea. I knew this from the start. My God, I made something that was not supposed to happen. Great. I can't believe that I have to face the truth by this. Well, at least I got to see what's happening on here. Oh, look at me. I look like an idiot. And look at these messages on the Discord server that I did. I look like a chump. Like, literally. Well, I did something. Well, everyone was worried for me because of this she person. I don't know how much people would actually care. I was brainwashed by this person. I don't know. It does look like they really care for me. But then again, what am I thinking? I should have left Mikey. This was my fault. I should have listened to him more often than usually. I should really turn off this computer. I don't want to make it overheated.
So, apparently what I got was the fact that Darken must have helped in the creation of Naomi, or probably was connected in some way. He said he was brainwashed by some person, and, you know, he created the Discord server, but also created something else. I think it's more to the Discord, but he definitely, you know, discussed a lot of what happened to him, and how he was brainwashed. Again, it's really unknown what that theory what he could have meant, but there's no denying that when he met the she person, I actually watched the live premiere of that video, and I asked Mikey himself, which you guys can go to the video once you get to his channel. I'll send a link down in the description to his channel. And I asked him, does he mean Naomi? And he said yes. This confirms that he does have a complete role. This also would explain the videos of which he has been, you know, parodying off with Sally. Which, understandably, even beforehand, I knew, because jokingly I commented on the video, and he's like, yeah, it was you, smarty. Not in a mean way, too. It was, like, funny, because we understand each other where I got that from. But that does raises a red flag question. Could it actually, because earlier Grant and Mikey has confirmed that Stephanie wasn't truly connected to this whole thing, but now it seems like it is. But who knows if I'm right or wrong. Again, I'm the one who went to Instagram, saw that picture, that holy crap, I recognize this person because blah blah blah, and that's what happened. But still, there's definitely a mystery. Now, the last clip I am going to show you is a very interesting one in particular, and it's just Naomi saying happy 2021. It's also worth noting Naomi on her channel also released a video beforehand just to promote the fact that, you know, Tress and stuff. But that is a red flag itself, which confirms that this could be, Naomi could be the sister of Grant, or who knows. But here's something that's interesting that she posted for 2021.
2020 has been a great time to
incubate properly and make new.
friends who celebrate our unique outlook on life and celebrate
Individuality and freedom in a
format that is fitting to them.
Mikey was very useful in providing.
So with schematics for life.
Prototype. I hope they become.
Year is even better and we continue.
Into a year of the purest Naomi.
Yeah, long story short, I'm not going to continue because they keep saying year 2021 or whatever, Naomi 2021. But yeah, and this does back up to the robotic project that in some sort of project Grant has. But long story short, it really wasn't nothing. It was just showcasing the whole group because recently Naomi has been claiming that several people was the one, and she's not split personality disorder. I still highly doubt that. Because the way he acts, it's no doubt that it's the same Naomi. I mean, heck, the fact that he called himself a group of Naomi is suspicious. And not to mention, again, because of the way the brain surgery that happened to her was cuckoo, without the whole, it caused trauma, it's pretty solid evidence that he has split personality disorder. But again, that's all the updates I could find on this. And pretty much so far, I'm now just really more shocked at the fact that, like, the biggest shock to me was I thought the bird, the same, which by the way, you may have noticed the bird is the same bird in his profile picture. I thought that was the straight bird and Hoo was the crazy one, which by the way, I didn't show this in this video, but he's got a lot crazier, just to say. But that's really nothing because his craziness was nothing informal. It's just something that, happened. But I did not know that the birds were on it as well. But again, that's what explains the symbolism of the birds in the skull. This will also explain what he's trying to accomplish. But who knows? And what's even more interesting is the fact that there is multiple references to now Stephanie, and there's a multiple reference to, of course, Dad, and the fact that Mikey is connected to all of this much more than I thought, and so is Phoenix. There's a lot of connections going on here. But to end this off, I'm going to go ahead and finally kind of truly break down what I think is going on with this series in the first place, of what we know so far. So what we know so far is Grant is trying to do some sort of revival project. He's trying to revive Naomi because Naomi is possibly his sister, and some sort of incident happened involving a house on fire that hurt her. Their father was never around, and possibly, and I think this would explain the skull, it would possibly be that the father could be the skull, but it could be also, his boss. But pretty much he signed up to a project in order to save his sister using alchemic medicine. But it turns out that the only flip side is the boss and the birds want something from him back. Hoo seems to be the one who saw all of this and now going through a depression where he's killing off toys, pretty much playing too much Among Us, too much like a freaking like Dad, and pretty much he's seen too much. In fact, if you guys saw my reaction video, you noticed that he saw the cult. There's another cult nearby, Grant, who's worshipping that probably is the cult that Ragdoll is in, who is also connected with this thing because he appeared in one video of his videos and he has made mention towards it. And it's Grant and their cult leader, the puppeteer, as I'm going to call him, he wants to keep it sick, and he's probably after my head because, jokingly speaking, seeing that one video he posts on Instagram, it's pretty much obviously that he's definitely after my head. But anyways, Naomi is a now has split personality because of the brain surgery that happened. And now she's split into multiple. And it turns out beforehand, darkened Mikey, was with Naomi at the time before heading out because he had a disagreement with original Mikey. But thanks to possibly DNA, jokingly speaking, this would explain why there was a clone. But later on, apparently Naomi got smart enough to make a clone of Mikey and make him say that he's connected. And there's this sock puppet girl, which I don't even know what the heck she is too much. But she's also part of the cult as well. And you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that creepy girl with the ponytails. There we go. And apparently they're also after Mikey a little bit because they were upset when Mikey did that video and darkened Mikey as well. And darkened Mikey, by the way, in his series, he's trying to find possibly his young sister as well, which means that they have a similar goal in mind. But darkened Mikey realized the bad thing and he ditched out of there. And then came along me mentioning about the Stephanie and Dad connections and other stuff. And then apparently now Mikey is making jokes about Stephanie, but it could be possible that now it's connected because of how Grant with the smiley mug. Again, it could be coincidence, but not. But either way, right now, his bosses are literally breathing down his neck, telling him, hey, you need to finish whatever this project that I'm still confused on, done. You really need to get this done, and you need to cut corners right now. And Grant is like, no, because he knows if he F up this project, or rather fucked up to be exact, of this project, everything's going to hit the fan, and stuff will happen. And he's trying his hardest. And apparently, before all of this, someone broke into his house and left us a note. And I thought it could have been Naomi because he is more references to the moon. But who knows? And the moon plays a big role because they're using alchemic stuff. Which, of course, would explain why he has a very interesting tactic towards Pokemon. Because Pokemon Sun and Moon actually focus a little bit on alchemic things. Not a whole lot, because that was just a theory by Game Explain, but it does have some similarity towards it, though it wasn't actually the actual thing to the game. And there's a lot of other stuff that could be connected to this, but that's the main story. The point is, Grant is trying to save his sister from something that happened to her a long time ago, and apparently there's things that still need to be added up. Like, why is spiders an anti-symbol? Why is the project has a fly on it? Because, by the way, I forgot to show this, but in the end of the video, the project does show Naomi's symbol, meaning that Naomi is possibly the project. Why is Naomi now trying to make a cult? Why the sock puppet girl looks like a freaking creepy sock puppet, and why she cover herself up? Why is Phoenix is working with Grant? Why is Dark Mikey was separated from, Mikey in the first place? And what happened to his sister? And why they're connected to Doctor Who? Because that's a thing going on. What's the true symbolism towards Dad and Stephanie to them? And long story, and the big thing is that I'm questioning is, how deep am I going down this crazy rabbit hole? That is freaking awesome, because I don't know how deep I'm going. Oh boy, I do know that Grant gave me kind of a little bit of a warning in one of my videos, telling me, hey, I should be careful because someone's not gonna like this or something. I don't know, but I don't know. I'm pretty much fine. I'm safe. I know this whole thing is just ARG stuff, which is awesome. But really, this is well done. But again, I really am intrigued on how the story is now going to go. Because the two biggest plot twists for me for the last 2 weeks of this was the fact that this confirms Mikey was connected to this. And possibly Naomi's after his ass. And apparently Naomi is the sister of Grant in the story. And I don't know what else could possibly go down this route. But for now, I'm just going to hang back and relax and see how everything is going to go happen. I mean, at this point, I even don't know what's going to happen. I mean, heck, I'm more focused on trying to get my witchcraft series up for some reason. But yeah, pretty much that's it. And if you guys like this video, you like it. And again, sorry if my explanations are a little bit wacky. I highly recommend you guys just check it out for yourselves and see what your theories are. Because again, I'm actually now getting way more confused than in a maze. But I do get this. I think I do got the final story and what's going on. There's still some questions need to be answered. And again, I don't know how everything is going to work. But right now, this has been Floxcat. I'm definitely snapping out of here. Bye.